Alright guys, so we just got done with graphing linear inequalities. Now we're going to talk about graphing absolute value inequalities. So just like the other one, we want to make sure that the inequality is solved for y. If it's not, we got to get it that way. Most of them will be though, so you won't have to worry about that part. Alright, after that we want to determine solid or dashed, just like with the lines, except for now it's going to be an absolute value graph. We're not going to graph these by hand, so we're going to graph boundary using the calculator. Calculator. So it's going to be just like that second example that I showed you guys in the last video. And then we're going to shade using the calculator. Although this shading is a whole lot easier than the other shading. Okay? So pretty simple in this case. Alright, so we want to graph the inequality. Y is less than or equal to the absolute value of x plus 3 minus 2. So I can tell you right now, looking at that, it's going to be solid. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the calculator. But we're going to put it in using the equation first, just like we did with that second example. So tab, we want to go up. We're going to delete this. Whoops. Alright, so we want the equation first. So that was y is less than or equal to, I believe, which we're going to stay with, equals absolute value. So I'm going to show you how to get the absolute value. If you look at this button right here, here's the book, the one next to it. You see the one right here? That's our absolute value. If we press on that, or hit enter for that. Oh man, I don't know what I was trying to do there. Alright, so tab. So let's start over. So boom, enter, and it's up there. So now we can put in what we need to put in. So we have x plus 3 inside. So I want x plus 3 inside the absolute value. Outside the absolute value is minus 2. So now we're going to hit enter. There's our absolute value graph. Okay? I want some points. So control T gives me that. Now, I need to find out where that vertex is. Where is the bottom of that? And what I see is the bottom of it is going to be sitting, if you remember back to quadratics, you remember where they repeat? The one that doesn't is that vertex. Well, that's the same thing here. So that vertex is at -3, -2. Okay? So when we come over here, we definitely want that one. So -3, -2. And then what you should see in the table is you see how -4 is -1 and -2 is -1. We're going to use those two. So -4, -1, -2, -1. And then what we do is we just connect there, and we connect here, trying to make them as good as possible. A little bit harder with this board than it would be doing it by hand, but try to make them as even as possible. Alright, so what I would tell you though is try to extend these all the way out as far as you can, like that. So less than obviously means underneath, so that should be down here, huh? So when we come back to our calculator, just like we did before, get rid of the table, press tab to come back here. We don't want the equal, we want the less than or equal to, which is 1. Hit enter, and sure enough, it is that space down below. So that means that our shading is going to be all of this down here. Alright, so this one's going to be done very similarly. So it's y is less than negative absolute value of x minus 4 plus 2. So come back over here, delete everything, tab. So we're going to get rid of this. Oops, we want the equation first, so negative absolute value, so that button, enter. Then it's x minus 4 inside plus 2 outside. Hit enter. Alright, so now we're going upside down from what we had before, and our vertex is over here. So if you look at it, you probably could count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4, 2. So we can check that out. So if we come back over here, right, to check that out, oh sorry, right here still, huh? Control T. So we said 4, 2. So it should repeat after 4, 2. And sure enough, we got the 1, 2, 1. So we have that repeating. So we're going to use 4, 2, 3, 1, and 5, 1. Alright, so we said 3, 1, 4, 2, and 5, 1. Extend it all the way out. Extend it all the way out. Less than should be this space here. So let's go back. Get rid of the calculator. Tab, come back up, change that equal sign to the one we want, which is less than 2, and oh yeah, remember it's dashed, huh? So we didn't do that over here, we drew a solid one. So sometimes if you draw the solid one, you can then just erase spots to make the dashed if you'd like. And the shading is inside this area, so when we come back over here, our shading is all of this in here. I'm sure you guys are going to have questions. I want to answer your questions. If I'm not here today, then you guys are going to have to post those questions or come see me for tutoring. There's not much else I can do at this point. But ask your questions. Find out from the other people around you if they're understanding what's going on. And I'll try to clear all of this up as best I can. Alright, so we'll talk to you guys later.